What's good, everybody? It is Capital J Productions. I am back with another video. And as you can see on my screen, today we're talking about therapy, okay? Now, a few videos ago, I made a video about me talking about how black women has failed me, okay? Now, if you guys go look at that title, you would notice, like, I never changed the title, okay? But there's this one girl who comment on my post stating that like how all women, she was basically asking me like how is it all black women's fault that that black women failed me. And I never was talking about all women. I mean, if you look at the title, it says how black women failed me, and I was talking about in that video how the black women that was in my life, you know what I'm saying? That's all. I mean, there's no way all black women can fail me, right? That's just stupid, right? I didn't think I would have to clarify that. I mean, but so I guess the people with common sense can pretty much figure out like I wasn't talking about all black women. I was talking about the black women that was in my particular life. Okay, so but anyway, there was I had got some interesting comments from that, and I want to address that today because it's gonna go, this background will make more sense as I guess you guys can see the title, but let's just get started because I don't want this video to be too long, right? So I got this one comment by Baby Row. I guess that's how you would pronounce that. And she said that I made some poor decisions as a man, and it's not my mother's fault, or my mother's job to teach me how to be a man, which is true. Okay. Now I'm gonna skip most of this stuff because for a lot of this, I kind of agree, but there's some things she mentioned in here that just doesn't make any sense. And if she would have watched my whole video, a lot of these, she kind of made some irrelevant points here. But this one part I want to talk about is this seek counseling, right? So basically, she feels like I need to seek counseling. And so today we're going to dive way deeper than she would even expect me to dive into, right? For counseling. Because I've heard that, plenty of years, that, we need to seek therapy, or we need to do this, we need to do that, right? Now, I've never went to a therapist before in my life. I never seek counseling before in my life. And I've actually learned, everything that I've learned on my own, or I've learned from God. And when I mentioned that I learned things from God, I'm talking about him giving me things in visions, because we all have dreams, right? That's not stupid. Now, we all do have dreams. We all do have visions. Okay, well, I have visions. I communicate with God. I've been serving him for a very long time in my life, and he responds to me. He may not respond to you, but probably because you don't serve him, but I serve him, and he always responds to me. So that's when I say, God give me something or something, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So I'll get into that later. Let's just go ahead and get started. So she says I need to get counseling, right? And then there was this other YouTuber, okay? This other comment, I guess she's not really a YouTuber, don't even have a icon on her page, but basically, she was just talking about how my father failed me. It's just funny how these black women, they just know all about me, right? They just know about my life more than I know about myself, and they can tell me what the answer is. But I'm not gonna argue with them today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, let's just go with it, right? Let's just say that I need counseling, right? Okay. But it's going to be with a twist, because I've actually did my homework. Okay. I for the longest I've known therapy was garbage, but I'm gonna prove it in this video. So let's just say for the argument, I decide to get into to therapy. I need therapy, right? I'm broken and I need therapy. So let's just move forward, okay? So that led me to think, well, who created therapy, right? So now on the internet, of course, you don't never just get one answer. You know, you get multiple answers. And so basically, just I'm not gonna read all of this here. You guys can read it for yourself. But anyway, it came into the 1700s, right? 1700s. Well, we as black people, we've been slaves in the 1600s, right? All the way from the 1600s, and we was slaves for 400 years. So when they created therapy, this is the point I'm getting to. So if they created therapy and we was enslaved and we didn't have no rights way back then, they didn't create therapy for us. Keep that in mind, okay? Let's move forward. I'm not going to focus on this. You guys can go to Google and you can Google this stuff for yourself, right? This is just me putting two things together, okay? And you know, I came to this one site here on Google, and it basically was talking about how the Greeks, right? More white people, okay? People that's not black who created therapy. And, you know what I'm saying? Basically, therapy was created for people with mental disorders, real mental disorders, okay? As a medical condition in ancient Greece. Philosophers were the first to explore the connections between mental health and medicine, okay? So here's a white guy, another white guy, right? And when I mean by white, I don't mean like the actual white race. I'm talking about it's always the pale skin, whether it's Greek, whether it's like they created everything, right? They try to make they have this narrative that if you look up anything on the line, chances are you're gonna find out that, you know, a pale person has made it, and it's really crazy. And these are the people who we're supposed to believe, right? But anyway, let's just go with it. They made therapy, right? Which I believe is true. They did make therapy, okay? Let's go with it. Now, keep in mind, those two commenters said that this is who I need to go to, okay, to get help. Just keep that in mind. And these are the same people that put us as slaves and had us for slaves for over 400 years. But I'm gonna move forward. So, they made me think, right? Well, and I end up looking into this question here, which is, and I already know the answer to this, but is therapy the only way to heal? And even the therapists even agree that, you know, but not only the way to heal from trauma, as there are a variety of ways to heal, such as relationship and connection, reconnecting to our culture and ancestral customs, having a practice such as yoga, meditation, expressions such as art, dance, and writing, and so much other stuff, right? But you notice they never talk about God. They never talk about dreams. They never talk about Jesus Christ. They don't talk about anything that has to do with true healing. Okay? But let's move forward. So according to these two commenters, right, I'm supposed to get counseling, or I'm supposed to get therapy, right? And this is who I'm supposed to go from. These are the people who created it. But I'm gonna share you. I'm gonna give you guys something to think today. Okay, something to think about today, or like who you're going to counseling for. Okay, and these are my thoughts that I gather, and we're gonna talk about them here. I'm gonna try to go through this as briefly and as fast as possible. Okay, so it's one thing I realized, right? And I knew this before I even put it into Google. Okay. Is that they was created by white people, okay? So not that the race matters, but it's just Like, why would a group of people, I mean, we looked at why they created it. They created it for people with true, true mental issues, okay? Like real, like people who can't, like the true, I don't want to say the R word, you know what I'm saying? But you guys know what I'm talking about. People who are mentally like, they can't think normal. They can't think on their own. They can't make decisions on their own, okay? These people are really, they are really in bad shape mentally. That's what it was created for. It wasn't created for, like people are just the average, like for the average person. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't made for that. But let's move forward, okay? We know it was created by white people. Okay? It was not created for black people. Now this is a fact. Like I said, just look at the years. Go find out when slavery was started, and then go find out when this was started, when therapy was started, and ask yourself, well, how could they have made it for us when we didn't have no rights as black people, right? They wouldn't giving us no therapy, and we probably needed the therapy the most back then for all the stuff we went through, right? But that's how you know they clearly didn't make it for us, okay? So in my point of view, we shouldn't be going to therapy because it has no benefits for us. It wasn't really created for us. Like we need our own brand of therapy. We need something totally different than what these people created, because what we went through is just totally different than what their race of people went through. So, but it's like in the world today, people are trying to make it like, oh, okay, you're just go to therapy. Just go to these, you just need to go to these people. These people will help you. But I mean, that's crazy to me. But let's move forward. White people don't know what true trauma is. Now, this is just facts. They don't know what true trauma is. So how can they address the issues, black issues that we have when they haven't been stripped? Okay, let me give you guys a little bit of for a lot of you guys, y'all don't know. A lot of the younger, blacks, y'all don't really know. Okay, so you telling me, okay, that I'm supposed to go to a group of people who enslaved my great grandfathers and great grandmothers, and what I'm saying, like people who are responsible for basically getting me here. But now because things are quote unquote change, I'm supposed to go to these same people who created therapy, who didn't create it for us, and we know they didn't create it for us. I'm supposed to go get their help. That's what you're telling me, because you feel like I should go get their help. And so that's what I pretty much got to say for that. And like, just ask yourself, what have white people really went through in this world that compared to us as black people, what have they really went through to where they need therapy? Besides that, like I said, besides that, I'm not talking about for the people who really had mental issues. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about just white people who, I'm not saying white people don't have problems. They do have problems. But when it comes to, like, compared to black people, they don't understand. They don't have a clue. Like, they don't even understand how, like, the system benefits them, no matter what. I'm going to probably show examples of this in future videos. But for now, like, come on, you got to be blind to not see this stuff. Like, I mean, everything, like, in society just benefits them. Everywhere that I go, especially like where I'm at now, where I live and everything, I just see it. All I see is white privilege. Every step of way that I go, whether I'm online, offline, that's all I see. So like I said, white people really haven't gone through true trauma, because like black people, we have regular problems, and then on top of the regular problems, we got we got to deal with this racism shit all the time. And it's, it's like, okay, how are we supposed to get over the fact that we live in a country where people, or just these white people, are using us and abusing us, and constantly, and we're supposed to go seek therapy for this. You know what I mean? We're supposed to go to them for their therapy. And I don't believe that. But let's move forward, okay? I could talk about this one for a long time. Now, what I mean by this, number 4, white mindset teachings, okay, is that if you Google who owns all the colleges, like, a lot of people don't think, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people just do. They don't think, especially black people. Black people don't think. They just regurgitate shit that they don't even realize. They haven't thought about it. See, I've been taught by God. So I think on a higher scale than most people. You know what I mean? And this is why, like, I have such a different mind frame from everybody else. It's because God has shared to me a lot of things about this world, you know what I mean, about just how to get, like, really get over trauma, how to get over people, how to not have expectations, how to make it in this world, okay, how to be strong and how to be independent, how to really be independent, how to just really how to navigate in this world, okay? Because when you go to college, okay, when you go to college for anything, I don't care what it is, you got to ask yourself, well, first of all, who owns this college? Now, I'm not saying there's not black colleges out there, but you got to think about it. In order for those black colleges to get established, there's permits, there's a lot of shit that they have to go through, basically, which is the government that say, okay, now you can do it. You can put your school here. They have a lot of steps they have to go through just to make a black college, and it basically has to get white approval to have a black college. You know what I'm saying? Or if not, it's not going to ever get built because this is their country. So you guys got to think about that. So, like I said, we know white people made therapy, and we know they are in control of it. If they made it, they are in control of it. So it's like, okay, when you go to college or you going to a therapist or whatever, what are you learning? You need to ask yourself, well, what are you learning? What are you really learning? So that's what I mean about the white mindset teachings, because that's basically that's what you're getting when you're going to go to therapy. You're going to get white mindset teachings. You're not going to get nobody who's you know what I'm saying, who's been in slavery, okay, or not somebody who's been in slavery, but somebody who understands it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you have to really think, okay? Because if not, you're going to fall for what everybody else is saying online, and, just go to therapy. Just go to therapy. And it's all okay. But what is therapy? Where did it come from? Who's behind it? Start asking those questions, and then things will become way more clear to you. And then you'll know, like, what direction you need to move in versus what direction you don't need to move in. Okay, so let's move forward. And that's basically what I just spoke on, which is learning from white-owned content. They're all white-owned, okay? If you Google it, you can't even find the data. Because I put in how many colleges are white-owned. They don't even have no data for that. It's funny, they got data for everything, but there's certain data they don't even want you having access to. You know what I mean? Because they know it's too much truth. So, but yeah, I mean, we all learning from white-owned colleges. Okay, so we're learning what the curriculum that they give access to us to. So we know there's some certain information that, like, real information, we can't really get. They kind of conceal that information, but they allow us to have only certain amount of, information. Y'all guys got to understand that, okay? So, because they got all the real stuff. The stuff, we get is like watered down, probably like 80%. you know. So yeah, I mean, if you don't see the issue with that, like, you know, they owned all the colleges. Like, okay, if they owned all the colleges, then that mean they own all the curriculums. They own all the teachings, the, you know, what they put into the schools, what they have their teachers teach. They're controlling all of that. And you only have one race of people who's in control of that. And you guys don't see an issue with that? You know what I'm saying? If it was more of a fair system, you know, should we have more owners? We should have Mexican owners. We should have, you know what I'm saying? We should have more black owners. We should have, you know what I mean? It should be well-rounded, but it's not. It's not like that, okay? You do your research. You don't have to believe me. Just do your research, and you'll see it's just Google. It's not like you can't find this information. You know what I'm saying? You can find it. It's just I know a lot of you guys ain't gonna do it, so I'm doing it for you in these videos. And then explain why I am the way that I am. So let's move forward. You tell them everything, they tell you nothing. Now this is literally what therapy is. When you go to therapy, you're gonna sit down with somebody, right? Chances are they're gonna be white. And you tell your story. You're gonna be telling them everything about your personal life. You're gonna be telling them about, you know what I'm saying, like why you're feeling this pain and why you're going through this, why you're going through that, why this happened to you, why that happened to you, how you feel about it, how you should feel about it. In return, they're not going to tell you about it. You might have some therapists out there that'll tell you the story, but like, how do you even know like what they telling you is real? Because I mean, there's just a lot that comes with that. Because I mean, you know, they're being paid to sit there and listen to you. It's not like they're doing it out of their free time. Okay, they're being paid to do it, which really kind of throws everything that they're doing right down the drain. Okay, that's another issue about therapy. It's just a joke to me. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, recording data on you for suspicious purposes. Now this is something I feel like, you know what I'm saying, like I don't have proof. Of course I don't have proof, but I have my suspicions. Okay, because why they want to know all this information? Honestly, ask yourself, why do they want to know all this information on you? I understand they're trying to get down to the root of the problem, right? When you have a therapist, that's what it is. They record data because they're trying to get to the root of the problem. But the thing is, you don't need to go to somebody, right? Sit there for an hour, 2 hours of your time, whatever, crying and, you know, you're just going off, right? Because you're hurt or you don't want to get over something that you probably should get over, right? But they just write it down. They just write your feelings down, write your feelings. But the thing is, why? Nobody asks themselves, why are they writing this down? I know. I mean, okay, look, let me tell y'all a little story. Okay, I used to have a job as a behavioral therapist. I was a behavioral therapist for teens. I worked at a Long Beach school district for a little bit. I did it for a little bit, and so I had to work directly with the therapist, and it was just some. I just don't like how the therapists, right? Like, I don't like how they do stuff. Like what they do is, like, when your child see a therapist, they just totally isolate them with this. You got this adult with this child, and that's, you know, and they're by themselves, and they asking them God know what, and then they tell the kid, oh, you can't tell nobody about it. And it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I'm not okay. I would never be okay with my kid going to some adult to sit in a room and talk about something, and I don't know anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, if my kid can't come to me, like, why can't my kid come to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go into a lot of details, but I mean, I think people just trust too much into these, you know, these these positions all because quote unquote somebody it's been trained to do something that makes it okay for you to just trust them. And no, you got to ask questions. Okay, like what are they teaching you? Are they trying to whitewash your kid? Because that's what they're doing. In my opinion, that's what they're doing. They're just whitewashing your kid. Get you to believe in what they want you, what they want. It's like they pass you up and put their belief into your child. I mean, in their belief into your child. That's basically what's going on. Okay. So, and they started from an early age because, you know, they can monetize it later. It's a deep, dark game that, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people just, they don't know. So since they don't know, it just sounds good to everybody. Oh, you just go get counseling. Oh, you go, you know, go to a licensed therapist and get therapy. You know what I mean? But it's all garbage. So anyway, let's just move forward, right? Hopefully you guys are understanding why I have an issue with therapy, okay? More likely to put you on some type of meds. Now, this is just true. I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Even in my short time of being a behavioral therapist. Because see, like what I had to do, right? Like, I'm going to just talk about when I did have that job. When I was a behavioral therapist, I had to follow this student, right? They would assign me to this student, and I would have to follow him around like all his classes and everything. So because I was monitoring all his behaviors, right? And I would have to write everything down, what he did for the day. Did he participate in class? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did he act in class? And like any like bad behaviors, I had to correct them. You know what I mean? That was my job. I had to correct this kid. And you know, so I know all about this job, okay? And I know about therapy more than probably most black people would ever know about therapy. Okay, so that's how I know it's BS. All right. So anyway, this is just the reality, right? Like, more likely they're gonna put you on some type of med. Even your kids, if they don't understand why your kid is acting up in school, that's why they have these. They sit down with your kid, and it got to be one-on-one between the, you know, just the therapist and the kid, and they're gonna ask the kid all these questions because they really trying to figure out, okay, well, what's the best type of meds to give this kid that's gonna change this behavior. That's basically what they're doing. The therapist is just like a middleman or a middle woman from a doctor, and the doctor don't have time to, you know, to do the stuff that a therapist does. So they just came up with some fancy ass term. Oh, okay, let's just make another version of the doctor, name it a therapist, and then they try to figure out, like, you know, for people who don't have these severe, you know, mental issues, they have other just really basic issues, but they try to make it like is more than just a basic issue. So we got to put you on meds. And really, that's not the issue. You don't have to take no meds. You just gotta change your mind. You just gotta tell yourself, oh, okay, this is not good for me. I'm not doing this no more. So I'm moving in this direction. It's really just that simple. But it's just, we're not being taught these things, and everybody just want to cater. Oh, your feelings. They want to be soft about everything, and you can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't be all soft about stuff. Some things is just hard, and that's just the way it is, you know, for everybody, you know. So let's move on from that. Okay, you have to accept their solutions. This is something I realized. Like, okay, like even me when I was a behavioral therapist, right? Basically, you know, I would come up with the problems with the student. And then I would come up with what the solution was, right? And then I had to talk to the parents and stuff, and I would tell them, like, yeah, he did this in class, he didn't do this in class, blah blah blah. You know, have my recommendations. I had a whole system going on, and I had it like to where, like, if he did good, I would reward him like with candy or, you know, whatever the stuff. I find out what he likes, you know, that type of stuff. But the truth is, he had to accept whatever my solution was, right? So if I felt like he did really bad that day, and by the time his parents come pick him up, and the parents are like, well, how did he do today? And I'm the one telling them, what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one telling them, like, yeah, he did good or he did bad. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's the same thing with therapists. You know what I mean? It's no different as an adult with therapists. They're gonna write all of this shit down, and then they're gonna eventually they're gonna tell you like what you need to change, or what the way they see it, even though that person probably haven't gone through anything that you remotely went through, and they're not gonna fucking prove it to you. They're probably not even gonna tell, and if they are telling you, you can't believe it because they probably been trained to say those things, because they have to go to college for what, like 4 to 6 years to become like a licensed therapist. So they're trained to deal with every type of situation. Okay, they know how to respond to your questions. They know how to respond to your talking points. These people are professionals at that shit. You know what I'm saying? So they can fool most people and they can get most people. But you know what I'm saying? Like, with me, they'll never get me. I'm way too educated. I know too much about life. I know too much about too many different things. So, their BS, don't work with me. So, but yeah, if you go to a therapist and you give all your problems to them, they're going to give you their solution, and they kind of expect you like, okay, well, I'm a therapist. I know what the solution is. Yeah, but have you gone through it? Can they actually talk about, like, what I'm saying? Like, have they gone through, what you've gone through? You know what I mean? How long did it take them to get over it? So, but you got a lot of therapists that, they just college educated. They're not life educated. And just ask yourself, when did white people really have it hard like black people? You know what I'm saying? Just be real about it. Like, you got to ask yourself, like, why would I ever listen to a white person? I'm not saying there's not no white people out there that haven't been through no hard times, because I've seen that too. I've seen some white people who have hard times, or was on the opposite side of the system. You know what I mean? So I know they do have hard times, but I'm talking about like a black person. Like, they will never be able to relate to a black person's struggle. They just don't, because we have struggles like from the time I leave house, right? There's a chance I might not come back. Like, see, you can't say that for a white person. If I leave my house right now and I go to work or wherever I'm going, right? There's a chance I might not come back home. That's why I don't like going out that much. I've learned this a long time ago. This is especially when I stayed back in the hoods and stuff. Man, I got pulled over by cops a lot. I got searched by cops. I almost lost my life one day. All just for having a fancy ass car. You know what I mean? And I was driving from work in my car, headed to where I was going, not speeding, nothing. These cops pulled me over. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. This happened when I was like 18 years old. And they pulled me over, right? I was because I stayed right off of Crenshaw. So I was on Crenshaw and I was going home. And these two white cops, they pulled me over. And this is like, I was like really the only male to graduate, from high school. I was the first one, in my family to graduate. So it was a big deal for me. So I hung my tassel, on the rearview mirror. People used to hang their graduation tassels, on the rearview mirror, on the inside of the car when you're driving. I had it there. And so I got pulled over by these white cops. And as soon as they got out the car, they drew their guns. Just drew their guns. You know what I mean? Like, I guess they figured I was a drug dealer, because I had a nice car. I had rims on it and stuff. And it was like, this dude looks young. He got to be like a gangster or a drug dealer or something. So they drew their guns, and both of them, they come closer. So the only thing I knew to do, I didn't even have nobody teach me. I was just like, oh shit, I better put up my hands. I don't want to, I'm not trying to die. I'm just an 18-year-old kid. And basically They gave me a hard fucking time for no reason. They asked for my driver's license. I gave it to them. Gave them my insurance. Gave it to them. Everything's legit, right? They still was an asshole to me. You know what I mean? And they gave me they actually gave me a ticket for for me having my tassel on my graduation tassel on the rearview mirror. But this is this type of shit that doesn't happen to white people. I said that story for a reason, because they don't have to, when they go out into the world, chances are that's not going to happen to them. They're not going to have cops that's going to come up there and put guns to their head, draw guns to their head, all just because they're suspicious. You know what I mean? It's like if you white, you just get a pass. No matter where you go, you just get a pass. Oh, he's not doing anything because he's white. But I say all of that to say that you have, you know, these black women, and you have these people out here talking about, oh, you need to get therapy. If something, you know, if you mad about something, or you upset about something, or you heard about something, because they feel like you supposed to be a certain way, then I'm supposed to go to these people, right? These people who have a history of doing my people and still proving they still proving it, that they still have that mindset. See, that's the thing. It's like if you experience the stuff that I experienced, you will see that nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. These people still have that mindset that, hey, these black people are under us and we can do whatever the fuck we want to them anytime we want to do it. Because that's how I got treated by a lot of white people. I can tell you that's not the only time that happened to me where I got pulled over. One time I got pulled over, I got snatched out of my car, and they sat me on the side of the road, and I was there for like an hour. I just came off of work. I had proof that I just came off of work. You know what I'm saying? Like, all because of my car was the same. It was the same. It was the exact same model as some other person's car or whatever. So they pulled me over, snatched me out the car, put me in handcuffs. I'm sitting on the pavement for nothing. All for just going to work for 8 hours, busting my ass. I come home and then I get, you know, pulled over. You could do everything right as a black person and you still may die. What white person has ever gone through that? That's what I want to know. And if you are a white person and if you've gone through that, tell me about it. I want to know about it. Because as far as I know, that shit don't happen to you guys. But I'm supposed to go and get therapy from you. Somebody who don't know what it's like to go through stuff. Y'all don't go through none of this shit. Like, why would I ever, you know what I'm saying? Why would I ever get advice or take advice from somebody who haven't had it as hard as I have? That you can't tell me how to get over. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't even know what it's like to be in the pit. So I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, right? So let's move on, right? They only help you as long as you can afford it. Now, this is true. They have a lot of different tactics that they use these days. A lot of the times the payments, like, you can go get therapy for free, right? And it'll be free, but please believe this, they're still getting paid. Okay, it may be free for you, but they're getting paid. And the time that, you know, because, you know, they have all these outside government entities, right? That say, hey, okay, and what they do is based off of like a referral system. So let's say me, like, let's just take me for example, right? I want to go get therapy. I'll go get therapy. You know what I'm saying? There's many different ways. You can have like the county pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different ways they can go, but it's like, it'll be free for me, but the government or the county, right? Let's just say like the county would send the therapist a paycheck so it can be free for me. So that's what I mean by it. Just because it's free doesn't mean, because they don't want you guys to realize like somebody's being paid for their time. And that's just what it is. Do you think these people are trained, actually trained, go to school for 4 to 5, 6 years, and just so they can sit there and, you know what I'm saying, sit and you can waste their time for hours at a time and they don't get paid for it. No, it doesn't work that way. They're always getting paid, okay? So, which is like, okay, or so it just, you have to ask the question, well, if they're getting paid for it, how do you know they're just not, I mean, they're going to be the best therapists they're going to seem like they're the best, people ever when they're getting a paycheck. But what if they're not getting a paycheck? You still think they'll be there wasting their time listening to you? They're not going to do it, bro. I'm just being honest. It doesn't make any sense. They're not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, people got bills to pay and they're not going to care. They're not going to care. And they don't really care. They're trained not to care. They're trained to actually pretend like they care about you. But they can't take all those, those problems, you know what I'm saying? They can't take all your problems home with them. Okay? They can't do it. They actually be taught that. Okay? So you guys got to understand that. And this is why I feel like black people have no issue. No issue, but they have no reasons to be going to therapists. You know what I mean? Because it's just, how is it going to benefit you as a black person going to a therapist? I don't even care if it is a black woman that's a therapist or a black man, because you got to ask yourself, okay, well, they may be black and they may understand what is to be black and everything, but it's just like, you got to ask yourself where their education come from. It's still white people created it. It's still white controlled. They're just a whitewashed black person that's been trained the white way, okay? Not the right way with an R, but the white, the WHITE, white way of handling things, okay? And that's not going to do anything for you. As a true black man, it's not going to do anything for you. You need some real results, okay? You need to listen to real people, okay? Not these fake ass, results that just sounds good. So anyway, let's move forward. Have the understanding, though, even if it's free for you, trust me, somebody is paying that therapist to see you for free. If they are not getting paid, they won't see you. And that's basically what I just talked about. And that's the bottom line. It's a business, okay? Everything in this world is a business. If they're not really getting paid, if they're not getting paid under the table or some agency that's paying them to see you, trust me, they ain't going to see you. There's not much else to say about that. That's something I do know. So you guys can either believe that or not. You know what I mean? No, but I'm here to tell you that that's the truth. You won't learn how to treat yourself. Now, see, this is one of the main issues that I have with it, is that they make you more rely on them. Oh, you know what? You're feeling like this. You'll call them up and ask your therapist something, or you're struggling with something. You won't learn how to treat they just say, oh, come on in and we'll talk about it. And they're just going to write all of that shit down. And, while you're just spilling all the tea to them, they probably go back to their colleagues and talk about it. Probably do. You know what I mean? I know I've had to, let's just keep it real, right? Well, I know I got one of these titles on it, so I'll talk about that later. But the main issue is that you need to learn how to treat yourself. Okay? Like, we think about it. From the time you're a baby, from the time you come out of the baby, you're learning as a baby. And you can't say that we can't get past trauma, because look how a baby gets here, right? A baby has to come out through the vagina, which is, most of them come out crying, okay? It's crazy. The whole process is crazy when you really think about it. They come out the mom. They come out crying, all that trauma getting squeezed through. There's blood and all kinds of crap involved, right? It's just this traumatic issue. The mom is crying, yelling and crying. The baby probably don't understand what's going on. It's a very traumatic experience, probably for the baby. But somehow, some way, right, the baby gets through it. And then the baby eventually learns. You know what I'm saying? The baby start to learn, like, oh, okay, I'm here. This is life. I know I get milk. I know that's my mom. I know that's my dad. They learn. They learn how to treat themselves. They learn like, oh, it's not that bad. Okay. Yeah, that was a little rough getting out, but oh, okay, I'm okay now. I'm getting milk. I'm getting fed. I'm getting changed. Okay, this is not as bad as I thought. Even they learn. Even the babies do it. Okay. So when you become an adult, it should be the same. You got to learn how to treat yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you're having a problem with anything, I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? Or how traumatic it is. And I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. I've been, you know what I'm saying? So many things, but I'm still here and I'm still positive and I still have the mindset that I have. And this is how, because really God had taught me how to treat myself, how to, like, you know, the human body. If you go outside, right? A lot of people don't even realize this, but when you go outside and you fall and you scrape yourself, that scratch, your body, if you wait a couple of days, your body is it's gonna heal itself. That's how the human body naturally is. So it's like it heals itself. So it's like you eventually, if you admit, especially mentally, it's all in your mind. And it's all about, you know, what you allow in versus what you don't allow in. You have the power, though. It's just, I remember one time God he gave it to me. It's one of the most powerful things he ever shared to me in a dream. It's back when I was struggling, you know, not seeing my daughter. And that was really hard for me, right? You know, because I really wanted to be a father. I never had a father. I wanted to be the best dad ever. That was just one of the things I wanted to do. And so that really, I had a hard time with accepting the fact that my child's mother was not going to allow me to see my child. And one of the things at that one, I remember one day, you know, because I was praying to him constantly about this issue at that time, back in my early 20s, right? And I remember him giving me this dream that changed it all for me, just one dream. And he told me, he was like, he said, you're giving this issue too much power. Like you're giving it like the way he put it was brilliant. It's been a long time ago, so I don't exactly remember how he put it, but it was like, he was like, you're giving these people too much power. You're giving them power and authority over you. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you give somebody that much power and authority over you to the fact to where it affects you, and it'll affect you every day. And no matter what you do, you know what I'm saying? Like it'll even affect like how you perform on your job. It'll affect you to how you treat others in your life. You'll start blaming people and you'll start taking it out on people because, you know, all because of this one thing this person has done to you. And that's what I mean about you won't learn how to treat yourself. You're doing basically another version of this when you go to therapist. When you go to therapy, this is what you're doing. You're laying all your problems on them so they can fix the problem for you. Instead of you learning how to treat yourself, you learn how to heal yourself. You learn how, like, okay, you know what? I'm going through this. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through all this. I'm having a hard time with this. Let me do something good for myself. I deserve something, you know, I deserve something good. When are you going to learn that? The therapist, do you think the therapist is going to tell you, you think they're going to stop their money flow for you, for your feelings, so they can help you get over the issue? I'm trying to tell you, they're not. They're never going to do it because they go to college to learn to keep you there. That's the whole gig, okay? Like the whole gig is to keep you there and it's to keep you coming back for more. So why? Because it's an easy check. They're going to just sit there and just write, sit there and just write, sit there and write, maybe tell you one thing or two. Yeah. How's that make you feel? Oh, okay. How's that make you? Anybody can do, especially when you're getting paid. I can be a therapist. Like, I don't have to go to college for that. Just let people say what they want. Let them say what they want. You just sit there and listen. Okay. And get paid. The longer they talk, the more money you get. Okay. And you will never learn to treat yourself because to you accepted the fact that, hey, going to this person is treating myself. But in reality, you're not treating yourself. You're just tricking yourself to think that you're going to somebody who got a special license, okay, by the government, okay? They got a special license for the fucking government, okay? That fucks you over in every type of, they got a history of fucking everybody over, okay? And you think you're going to somebody special and you're really not. You're just going to somebody who just good at tricking people, good at hiding information and tricking people and teaching people how they want to teach other people. Okay, so learn how to treat yourself. But I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Let's move on. Yeah, basically, this is what it is. They teach you to lean on them. They don't teach you to become self-sufficient. You know what I mean? They don't teach you how to heal. Like I was just saying, they don't teach you how to heal yourself. And that's the biggest problem with therapy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because like there was nobody for me. I had to do it myself. The only person who was there for me was God. I had nobody there for me. Yeah, I had people I could talk to, my sisters and my brothers and them to talk to me. They was there to witness it. But I'm saying none of that helped. You know what I'm saying? Until God revealed to me in a dream what I had to do. Like, I had to do the work. Even your therapist, they can't do all the work for you, but they gonna try. And they might even, some of them are so much about their money, they would just lie to you and manipulate you. You know what I'm saying? And tell you what you want to hear just so you can keep coming back to them. Because they don't care about you. If they did care about you, you know what I'm saying? If they really did care about you, they would tell you information like what I'm telling you. They will really teach you how to be self-sufficient, how to really learn. You know what I mean? How to really heal yourself so you won't have to come back to them. Okay, so let's move forward. Don't need a degree to do what they do. You really don't. Like I said, I was a behavioral therapist. I wasn't a licensed therapist. I had I had went to this job, right? The back when I was telling you guys when I was a behavioral therapist, I had went to the job and they taught me. This is how I know what they do. They taught me like, oh, okay. I went to a couple like a week. What was like a week of training. It wasn't that long. And I wasn't licensed or anything, but I did have, it's just basic because you're dealing with students. So it was just like, mainly I just observed their behavior. I take it down. And then basically I would share, I had to go and I have to give like the therapist, the school therapist, I have to kind of give them a report of, what he did in class and that type of stuff. Submit reports, to my supervisor, stuff like that. So, but really, man, like what they do is so basic. It's just the government. They just put a fancy ass term on what they do to try to make it like, oh, I'm a therapist. So it can be like a respectable term to everybody, like what a doctor is, But doctors don't really do much, you know what I'm saying? Even these days, doctors don't really do much. They more likely to put you on meds, some type of meds, except for when it comes to surgery, the surgery ones are, complicated. They're good for that if you need like really surgery. But I'm just talking about like because this is what we're talking with therapy. We're talking about mental therapy. Like with these girls say I need it, right? They say that I need counseling and I need therapy. You know what I'm saying? When it's like, no, I don't need that shit. I know I don't need that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I do need is God. What I do need is Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? The King. That's what I do need. Because that's what got me here. That's what really got all of us here. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's totally different. You don't have to believe in that if you don't want to. I'm not trying to shove that down people's throats, but I'm just saying, like, my dad didn't figure none of this out on his own. No other male in my life has figured this stuff. I figured it out. So that's why I'm teaching it, because I'm like, oh, okay. You really can't do all of this. You really can't accomplish all this stuff on your own. You just got to know and learn from somebody who's done it. And I'm the only person who I know who's done it. So this is why I'm teaching these things. Okay? And I know you don't need no degree to do what they do. Okay? higher status entities can gain access to your private data. Now, this is a big issue that most people don't realize about therapists. You go mouthing off to this therapist, you think you can tell them anything. Oh, I'm gonna go to my therapist. That's my stress reliever, right? That relieves my stress. You think you can just tell them anything, and like that, y'all remember if you guys go back to the video I did about child support, I was saying how from the time that the mother contacts or gets on the county, contacts the county, complains about you that you're not paying, we're not together, we're not paying anything. They all go it's all handled under under basically it's all secretly handled, right? It's the same thing with this, okay? If let's just say if it's a court order or if the supervisor just feels like, oh, he expressed, let's just say I expressed myself and I expressed killing someone, right? That I would kill somebody to the therapist. Now, if the therapist, you know what I'm saying, if the therapist feel like that's a legitimate threat, oh, okay, he's dealing with his boss. Let's just say I'm having problems with my boss and I expressed to myself that I wanted to kill my boss to my therapist. And my therapist writes it down, of course, right? And let's just say it's a woman therapist. Let's just say I went to a woman therapist and she feels like, oh shit, I need to report this because I don't want, what if something happens, And the court, you know what I'm saying? Basically the bottom line, I don't want to get into this long drawn out situation, but the truth is that, court orders, they could get access to this data. Y'all think this data is just sitting there, just sitting in files and they're just collecting dust and nobody actually reads them, watch them, or nobody talks about it. You got to ask yourself, why are they asking all these questions and why are they writing, why is it that important that they're writing this stuff down? And can you really trust them? I mean, you just trusting them because they have a license and they have a fancy ass building that you can pull up to and you go in and you see security, you see, it seems but it's okay. But if it was a stranger on the street, you wouldn't do the same thing. You wouldn't just go and just give all your data to somebody. You just go to their house, you sit down and just start talking and start giving them all this information, this personal information, and then you see them writing down and you're okay with that. So why are you doing it with a therapist? And this is why you would never see me go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? Now, unless I'm forced to do it, and I have been in a situation where I was forced to do it, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't really learned much. I just did what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's life sometimes. As a black man, you have to do what you got to do. So, yeah, as far as these higher status entities can gain access to your private data, that's the thing. You can't even really, you think you can be open with these people, but only to a certain point. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah. So this is why I say, if you I said it in one of the responses to one of those girls who feel like who feel like I should go to therapy. I told her, when I go to God, God know how to keep his lips closed. He's not going to tell my enemy what I'm thinking or what I'm planning out or what I'm doing. God is not going to do that. I know because I've done it before. I tell God everything. That's what I love about God. God should be your therapist. He really should. Because he's gonna keep keep it between you and him. There are certain things nobody needs to know about you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, and that's the problem with today's world, is that everybody they oversharing, you know what I'm saying, they just oversharing everything. It's like too much sharing. Oh, I feel like this, I'm gonna make a post about it. I feel like this, I'm gonna make a post about it. And they just putting all their bit. What they really doing is like social media is their therapist, and they don't realize that they ain't supposed to be doing that because other people see like they just basically seeing your weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just right there, just viewing it all like, oh, okay, this is what ticks her off. This is, you know, this is what she do when she's angry. This is what she do when she's happy. This is what she do when she, you know, when somebody says something she don't like. And that's basically social media. And that's why you got cops all over social media right now. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, people don't know how to have like a relationship with themselves, or they don't know how to just be humble and just, they don't know how to keep things to themselves. You gotta like really learn in this world, especially in today's world. You gotta understand the importance of keeping certain things to yourself. Everybody don't need to know everything, okay? But this is a problem that you know, this get tossed out. This is how like a lot of black men, like you know, what happened to Bill Cosby, what happened to a lot. It's so many examples, and I'm gonna start doing videos on a lot of like on the music side. I'm gonna start doing reaction videos to show examples of this, to show y'all what, like, all this stuff I'm talking about. It happens all the time. You guys are not putting the link together. That's the problem. Okay. So yeah, because I mean, they just think like, oh, nothing's gonna happen to me. But these white people in power, they can bring this shit back in your face anytime they want to and make you pay for it. But the whole problem is when they know the information, they have the information on you, you fucked. So stop giving them the information. Okay? So let's move forward. They have a supervisor. And this basically ties up to what I'm saying. And when they have a supervisor, right? The supervisor is gonna go through your notes. Other people are going through your data, whether you realize it or not. You know what I'm saying? And they swear up and down is, oh, it's confidential. What you you know, what you say here is confidential. Yeah, okay. You can believe that if you want, but it's not. Okay? They have a supervisor. They have somebody they have to go to, and they have to check up on, and the supervisor checks up on them, make sure they're doing a good job. Okay, he mentioned this here in this report. So what do you think we should do? What meds you think we can do to, you know what I'm saying? Like they have discussions about these things. Whether you guys realize it or not, they do. So, you know, other people are going through your data. It's just you don't know about it. That's all. Bias against the healing powers of Jesus Christ / God. Now, this is my personal belief. This because, like, you know what I'm saying, if I was conquered, or if I needed counseling, or if I needed what, you know, what the comment, what those girls comment, if I really needed that, trust me, I wouldn't be making videos. That's number one. I wouldn't be talking about all of these issues that I'm talking about. I probably would break down crying if I was conquered. And you know what I'm saying, if I wasn't over what I was over, trust me, I would have broke down crying in one of these videos or something by now, especially with all the stuff but you know, it's funny because these same type of people who's quick to say you conquered and you this and you that, it's just you guys are not used to dealing with a male that can be open and that can just express himself and express what he went through and tell his story. Because the truth is, a lot of black men are conquered, okay? And they're so conquered, they can't get on a public platform and talk about what they really want to talk about. They too conquered to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they too caught up in their situation. And I know for a fact, if that was true, if I was, you know, if I was that hurt or whatever, I wouldn't be on here talking about these things. I would be in secret, you know what I'm saying, trying to heal and trying to get better. Because I've done it before. I've done it plenty of times. for many different reasons. Okay. And I didn't even know that I would go on, move on, and start talking to people and start doing videos and to try to help people. I didn't even know I was going to be doing this type of stuff. It just kind of happened that way because God wanted me to do it. But this is not therapy to me or anything. I don't think about none of my problems. You know what I'm saying? I'm more focused on solutions. That's what that's what I'm constantly thinking about. Like, I've been that way for a long time. But a person that's conquered, they're constantly thinking about their problem. That's the difference between somebody that's conquered versus somebody who's free. Somebody who's free don't look at their problems. They look at, oh, okay, what's the solution? This is my current problem here. Oh, I know how to deal with problems. Okay, let's figure out how we gonna fix this problem. And then we fix that, and then we move on. Okay, so but yeah, that has nothing to do with this. But I mean, they would never give props to God, and that's why I'm doing it in this video, to let you guys know this is the true power right here. If you really want to get healed fast, and you really want, you know what I'm saying, you really trying to get over like any problem that you can think of, whether you're just like, you know, it could be like a relationship purposes. You're just mad in love with someone, or you need to get over them. I'm telling you, if you guys just understand number 17, you know what I'm saying, like the power, the not be biased against numbers, not to be like them, but I'm saying if you understand the power of Jesus Christ and the understand God, you guys will, I'm telling you, you guys will become so strong. Like, I never thought I would be this strong. I never thought that I would be talking openly, you know what I'm saying, about like my child's mother and what she did to me. Because at one point, yeah, I was really hurt, you know what I'm saying, a long time ago. It was, you know, in my early 20s when I first was going through it, I was really hurt and I couldn't talk about it with nobody. I just held it all in, you know what I'm saying? I held it all in and I'll be working, seem fine during the day, but go home, be crying and praying and, you know what I'm saying, crying in the bathroom by myself, praying, wondering when things gonna change. I went through all of that. That's how I know. I know because I went through it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't talk to nobody because I'm quite sure I would have just broke down crying right in front of them because I cared too much. So, but you know, you got a lot of black women that they really don't, they just spew, they just copy and paste, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, me and my wife, we talked about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of copy and paste. Oh, they just find some little narrative and they run with it. Like they feel I'm conquered. But that goes against, my channel goes against that. Like I have a whole video of me and my wife. You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about her and we're talking about my child's mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I can't be conquered if I have a wife. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a wife. I have a wife that I have a relationship that I have to please and keep happy and run a household with. You know what I'm saying? My mind gotta be right every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, but if you guys feel like I am conquered, then, you know what I'm saying, that's your opinion. But, you know, it's just, you know, it's just funny. You know, it's just funny. I find it funny. But yeah, don't sleep on the power of Jesus Christ, the King. Please don't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will, but you know what I'm saying? He's the reason that got me to where I am today. So I'm always going to have some sort of, you know what I mean? Because I know I would not be, I've seen too many men, okay? I've seen way too many men, including my dad, okay? Who never got there. My dad never got there. He never got to where I am. You know what I mean? He just got stuck in the streets and he never came out of it. And I know why. Because it's easy to get, with this system and everything that's working up against us, it's easy to get locked up. It's easy to get stuck in the mud in these streets. It's easy. I know, because it almost happened to me. You know, and what got me out of there is Jesus Christ the King. You know what I mean? And because I really start to take things serious, because I really wanted something better for myself. So, you know, please don't sleep on it. Okay, they take advantage of your lack of knowledge. This is just the facts. They're going to take advantage of from you from the time that you go into their office. They're taking advantage of you. You know what I mean? And I think most people, they just see especially the whole free thing. Oh, it's free. Oh, it's free. They don't understand the system though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can go back to them, and you know what I'm saying, and they're just gonna deny it. Like, oh yeah, we don't get paid. We're here for you. That's their job, to prove that they're here for you. Because the main thing they want you to focus on is that they are there for you. You know what I'm saying? And they do a good job making it seem like they're there for you. Now, I would say if a white person want therapy, that's different. I think it's good for white people. I don't think it's good for black people. I don't think it's good for Mexicans either, because they don't have the same struggle as blacks and Mexicans do. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't. You know. So, but they take advantage of your knowledge and your lack of knowledge. And mainly it's the whole, you know, is just very bad. They set you up from the time. They have a whole plan for you from the time you get in there, you sit on their couch and you start talking. There's a whole fucking plan for you that you don't know about. Okay? It's all business. Please believe. It's all about the numbers, not about the people. And this is the problem. It's one of the biggest things, you know, it's all about the numbers. You know, that's it. And they keep a track of all this data on you and all of their patients, okay? How many they prescribe medicines to? Did they send them over to other treatment? You know what I mean? Did they refer them over? Because everything is based off of referrals, and you know what I'm saying, and just basically, like, because if they refer you, let's just say if they refer you to somebody else, there's payment involved in that as well. Somebody's getting paid. So it's free for you when you go into this other facility, but trust me, it's all business. They're getting paid. They have government agencies that pay these people. Okay, they have it set up that way. Somebody's getting paid, and somebody's getting played too. So, but yeah. So this is why I don't believe in therapy. I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this video, you know what I'm saying, but I don't really care. I'm here to tell the truth, you know what I'm saying, and that's what it is. Like, on this channel, you guys are gonna get the no fluff real. You know, I talk about that all the time, and I mean, like I said, if you guys do your own research for yourself, come to your conclusion. Don't just believe what anybody else is saying on the internet. Go do your own research. I'm always gonna tell people to do that, okay? But just understand something about research and data, okay? It's even the research and the data that you find online is being controlled, is being manipulated and controlled by once again, white people. Just have an understanding of that, okay? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta take everything with a grain of salt, I guess. But I mean, you can't, don't just be relying on one person, you know what I'm saying, to do the work for you, because then you're just going to another, you're just doing therapy, but just in a different form. You're just doing it on YouTube. Or I'm gonna go find this person and I'm gonna go listen to this person on YouTube. Not really understanding mentally that's another form of therapy that you're doing. Okay? Now me, I just happen to be a fair and a very righteous person. I'm not going to mislead you. So if you do listen to me, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to mislead you. I'm only going to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thinking a lot of what's on YouTube, a lot of what's out there on the internet is just false information. And you have a bunch of people out there saying, oh, you need to go to therapy. All because you sound a certain way and you was raised a certain way, and they think you're supposed to sound like this, or you supposed to sound like that, or you supposed to speak like this. You're supposed to speak like that. Oh, you're not supposed to use curse words. You can't believe in God and use curse words, even though the Bible is filled with, men of God who sinned, men of God who slept with multiple women, and they still was men of God, and God allowed them to be men of God. Okay? Y'all got to understand this. Y'all got to learn to read. Y'all got to learn to read to read for understanding. Don't just read for just to read. Okay? It's just like if you're going to college and you're going for a job. You need to read for understanding and read to learn, because you know it's going to benefit your life. And if you guys are to do these videos this way, this stuff will benefit your life. You know what I mean? And I know because I'm the prime example of it. I'm a living example of it. And I've seen plenty of men, okay? Plenty of friends, uncles, my father, okay, who just couldn't get it. They didn't get it, but somehow I did. And, you know, I'm here to tell my story, and I'm here to share how I did it, okay? So to those women, you know what I'm saying? Those two women that told me I need to go to counseling, or I need to go to you know, they gave me their advice that I need to heal because I'm conquered, and I'm, you know, and like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. To you guys, my thing is, when you see all of this, and now that you've been educated by me, and you see what therapy and counseling really is, would you go to counseling? That's what I want to know. If y'all two see this video and y'all get to this point, let me know if you still would get counseling. After I reveal the truth about counseling, will you still go get counseling? Knowing all of this that I just exposed? And I've known this. I've been knowing this for years. I know a whole lot of stuff, and I'm going to prove it on this channel. There's a lot of stuff I kept to myself for a very long time. But when I get accused of something, or somebody say, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, oh, I take it personal. I'm not like the rest of these people on YouTube. I'm different. You know what I'm saying? I do take it personal because I'm like, okay, well, because I know I did the work. You know what I'm saying? And I know I didn't get here by accident. And I know who God made me to be. He just gave me a dream last night that I need to continue making videos on YouTube. Even though I kind of want to stop. I'm just like at the point like, nobody's really going to listen. I'm going to keep getting contested. But the whole point is, you guys learn the truth. Y'all have somebody here to tell you the truth. Whether you listen or not, it's up to you. But you have somebody here that's telling you the truth. And that's the bottom line. So I'm out of here. I'm going to be doing reaction videos now. Unless God give me to do something else, then I'll do that. Y'all take care. Be blessed.